And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guests. She's an actress and writer who is fine if you don't love her, but you know she literally broke her back for your entertainment. It's Niccole Thurman. And he's a writer and comedian whose positive outlook on life means that if a stranger comes up and asks to scrub his taint, he just says yes. It's Jordan Morris. Chef Jeff is here to stay the hell away from strangers asking to scrub his taint, or so he thinks. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Hello, my little Choco Rooms. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon. By Angela D. And I see them. I said it Choco Rooms a little more. I enunciated, I think, more than the makers of Choco Rooms would normally do. They're these little, they look like little mushrooms with like a chocolate cap, and they have them at Costco, and I see them every time we go, and then I think, no, we're already spending $300 when we came here to spend $25, and I will not get them. But now that they've been the carb of the week, maybe I need to. Anyway, I am on Patreon, all sorts of fun stuff.
Patreon.
Check it out. You can get episodes of The Friend Zone. That's my Patreon bonus podcast. Just had Stephanie Walder Taylor on, and boy, did we get into stuff that can only be gotten into behind the paywall. If you subscribe, go for an annual subscription and get 2 months free. Patreon.com/Allison. Okay, I would like to say hello to my guests. Hello, Niccole Thurman. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me again.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to be smelling you.
Oh, thank you.
You have a new perfume.
I just got a new perfume. I'm very proud of it.
And what a weird thing to say if you didn't have a new perfume. We hadn't discussed it, though, right?
You'd be like, what? You have a new perfume? And I'm like, yes, it's the body odor. Yes, I was eating
Your
pineapple.
scent is pleasing to me.
Hello, Jordan Morris.
Hi. It's great to see everybody. You all smell great in your own way. I'm enjoying everyone's scents, whether they be fancy international perfume or just natural musk.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so you pointed to Niccole and gave her fancy international perfume. You pointed to Daniel and gave him just regular old musk?
Regular
musk.
You're married to him. You've smelled the musk.
Of course,
right?
but what
That's
about
probably a big reason why the relationship works?
I mean,
the pheromones? But what about me? I didn't get a designation.
Oh, I'll think of a smell compliment
Mothballs.
for
Thank you.
before the end of the show.
Mothballs?
Yeah, you should.
That's just my age.
Oh.
You know, old people supposedly do have a specific odor. There's a specific old person scent that happens as you get older, and I forget why, but I've read an article about it. And also, I am happy to say, unless that makes me sound incredibly insular in my life, I don't think I could pinpoint old person smell.
Yeah, I guess we all remember our grandma's house having a particular smell.
Yeah,
right?
but is that old people smell, or is that old people?
That varies grandma to grandma, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe just old person's products, maybe,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, the products for sure.
Like soup,
Bengay.
soup mix,
Soup
powdered
mix?
like a
bouillon
soup from
cube.
a bouillon cube. Yes.
Post them.
Yeah, I don't know that hard candies have a smell.
Werther's?
Werther's.
Yeah.
I feel like my grandparents never had a smell, but if you go into a nursing home, but I always figure that's just more has to do with the nursing home
cleaning products.
Yeah,
But maybe they up the scent of them because they're trying to
the way that
counteract.
Disneyland will pump the scent out,
Right.
vanilla or whatever,
Or cinnamon roll or
they'll
something.
put certain scents into
Yeah.
the air that old person scents.
If anyone knows what if anyone's oh yeah, I totally know old person smell. While we're on the subject of smells, and then I do have to say hello to someone else in the room. You know how people talk about sex having a smell?
Yeah.
Yeah. A funk.
I don't think I know what that is.
It's the smell of bodies and sweat mixed together.
But
right?
how is it? Is it? Can you? Because I feel I've seen either on shows or it must just be on shows. someone walk into a room and say it smells like sex. Like, is that different than walking into a gym?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's more like the parts were out.
I don't
for
know
longer.
that. I mean, I think
Is it a funk? It doesn't sound like a good.
It's like a funk. I think it's just like a body
it's a pleasant,
smell.
natural
Like a musk.
smell, like a musk.
Oh, like
yes.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's a body smell that's not bad. Like there's BO. That's
Right.
different.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's like, oh, this is a natural thing coming from a human's processes, but it's pleasant.
What processes are we talking about?
You know.
Fucking
know.
the first processes,
The original
yes.
processes. So
Hold on. What's that coming from Allison's side of the table?
There we
Is
go.
that talent? Is that pure talent?
Thank
smell?
you. Talent.
Oh my God. Wow. The wait was worth it.
And Jeff smells like banana bread.
Hello, Jeff Fox. Welcome.
Hi, Allison. Do you like my scent?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Is that Robin?
No, that was you.
Oh, can I hear it again? Mm-hmm. It sounds like me, but also like Robin. Okay, so lots to get into. Today is the day of the Emmys. I don't think they're not airing today, though, right? They're just recording them. Did anyone follow the Emmys schedule?
Great question, because I know that, like the Creative Arts Emmys were out on the same day as the Golden Globes, right?
Yes.
Oh,
And
yes.
I think as maybe Niccole can vouch for this, as animation people, we see all of our colleagues winning those
Yes.
Emmys during
Like
that
a week before
ceremony.
Yeah.
And just feeling great for all of them. We're so happy for them.
It's one big
We're
family.
So happy for
You
them.
know,
Their success is our success.
Their money maybe could be ours too if they want to share a little bit.
That would be cool.
You know,
because we're so happy for you.
I'm
We'd be
happy.
like, oh my God, so excited.
So happy for you.
They all deserve it.
you
Yeah, but I
know
don't know.
what?
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yes.
Don't you think so too?
Mhm. And it's
Mhm.
energy in the universe, positivity, love.
Right.
I actually feel like
processes.
I always have been very excited for people in their awards. I think this year I'm a little over it. I'm not gonna lie to you. And
There had to be a limit.
I'm very like a rising tide. You know,
Yes.
the lift a ladder. People put the ladder back down to their people. I'm all about it, and I love it, and it's very exciting to know so many people doing so well in TV. But yeah, after the strikes and just a long year, I think it's a little. There's a moments where I was like, let me get off of Instagram for a couple days, just take a little break. You know what I mean? Like it's fun, but sometimes it is a little bit like
I don't need to see another friend in front of a step and repeat.
Yeah, like I'm good. I saw all the step and repeats.
That's
I'm like,
fun. Yeah. I mean, I would have stepped. I would have repeated. No.
I don't remember I feel like all the awards shows are really chunked together.
Yeah.
Yes,
they're
I don't remember that.
Strike. Well, the Emmys are usually what, like September?
Oh yeah, but they got moved.
They got
Oh.
So I think that's maybe why there's a lot of Succession Emmys.
Yeah.
Because maybe they were supposed to go
Got it.
last year, but this is kind of a
They
delay.
got pushed.
So.
Normally, this is just about the movies this time of year.
Yeah.
Yep.
The silver screen.
Which there are a lot of good
yeah.
movies this year, I feel like.
Yeah.
This was a really good year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen any of them, but oh man, are they good?
But those trailers.
Wow,
So
wow,
good.
wow. What a
So good.
costume.
I go to the movies to laugh,
Do you?
Yeah.
like Nicole Kidman.
You know we got it. Huh?
Okay. Well, it was hard to tell because there wasn't any, laughter.
Can I read something that just came across the transom?
Sure.
This is from our nanny who's with the boys. Okay, and they are where there's like a train.
Yes.
There's a little train.
We can say it there at Disconso
They're
Gardens.
discussing it. So Owen heard a couple parents shout, "Walter, you're too close," while their child chased the train here, and Owen shouted back, "You're too close." The parents came around the corner and were chuckling at Owen and thanked him for being on their side. It was Topher Grace and his wife.
Whoa.
Oh.
Can you believe
keep an eye on those kids.
our boy is schmoozing and he is sucking up to the
Networking.
celebs?
He
I know.
totally is networking. They have a child named Walter.
So yeah.
So
it was
she's an
interesting.
actress.
She's an actress. Yeah, and I think she's been on like True Blood.
Being on True Blood, though, could mean like you were someone you remember or someone that was
Yeah.
in the back half of the series you would never know because you didn't
Right.
watch it.
Like she was
Someone
a
that-
fairy that season that they went into all different kinds of wood nymphs and sprites.
Ugh, that show, really.
So what I was wondering though, has anyone here been to an award show?
Ooh.
I have.
no.
I've been to two as somewhat like as a reporter writing about them. The Video Music Awards in 1998, which is weird because I was only 4 years old. And then, I don't even know if this counts. It was the Spike Network Stag Men's Award or something.
I did one day writing jokes for one of those.
Really? What was it?
Funny.
Oh gosh, who hosted that year? I totally forget. I think they didn't use anything that our day actually created. But I couldn't tell you. I forgot.
I went to the DVD awards.
Wow. Best menus. Best commentary.
Best, it would be like best horror, movie over a certain box office or whatever.
I've been to I was nominated for a Streamy one year.
Ooh.
So I went to the Streamies.
Nice.
Musical guest, Vanilla Ice.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. What year was this?
When was this? It was maybe 2015, 16, something like that.
So not the height of his career.
No. But dude opens with Ice Ice Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Right.
Where do you
It's-
go from there?
I don't even know any of his
Does
other.
he have anywhere else
Yeah.
to go?
Yeah, he had several other songs, and I'm like, okay, I guess
Oh,
maybe I
no.
kind of vaguely recognize this. I'm like, are we just gonna end kind of bummed? No, he's got the ninja rap. And
Oh,
that's
yeah. Go
what he
Ninja,
closes.
go, right?
Yes, go
Right?
ninja, go ninja,
Yeah.
go.
Is that from
That
the
famous.
Ninja
It
Turtles?
is from the second Ninja Turtles movie,
Okay.
I believe. Secret of the Ooze.
Ooh.
They're like fighting these monsters, and they just bust through a wall, and
Uh-huh.
Vanilla Ice is having a concert, and he makes up a rap about them as
That
they're
sounds
fighting.
cool. Is he supposed to be a good guy or no?
So I think Vanilla Ice performed this year at the Mar-a-Lago New Year.
He did.
Okay.
So maybe
So,
got a
yes.
so great guy.
Keeps wonderful company.
Probably did it for free. Just because he
yeah.
loves the cause. So yeah, maybe Vanilla Ice is a little MAGA these days.
Okay.
Could be.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know who I think apparently is a little bit, I don't know if she's MAGA, but she's like, what's going on there? Is Mary Lou Retton. Are you aware of the whole Mary Lou
No.
situation?
Didn't she's like anti-vax, right, or something? Didn't there some health problem she had? Where
So
she didn't have...
had pneumonia, is what they said. She had pneumonia, and her daughter started to GoFundMe for her because she couldn't pay her medical bills and doesn't have health insurance. Then so on social media, someone said it actually was COVID. She's an
Right.
anti-vaxxer. I don't know if it's true that it was COVID or not, but she lives in, again, I have not fact checked this, but I believe she lives in like a $5 million home.
What- Yeah, I mean, you would
So
think...
so there is money there to pay the
Right.
medical bills. So it was a little bit grifty,
Sure.
but there was something else that made me think like it wasn't just the anti-vax stuff. It was there's something else that makes you go, oh, what are her politics?
Right.
But the craziest thing was seeing pictures of her, because the last time, of course, I've seen Mary Lou Retton was on a Wheaties box
Mhm.
when she was like, whatever, she was 17, 16.
So she just thinks for every health ailment, you just eat a bowl of Wheaties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
She's
not
been
right.
so Wheaties pilled.
Yeah. It's sweet. But now she looks like an old grandma, and I was like, that's not Mary Lou Retton. What? She's 16 years old.
Smells like a bouillon cube.
Yep.
Probably. How do we feel about Wheaties? My memory,
How did we or do we?
are they not? They're not around anymore.
They
right?
are.
They
I
are.
just saw them like a week ago, and I was like, "Oh, Wheaties." That's why I say that.
Who's on the box now?
I don't know. I didn't recognize
Vanilla
whoever it
Ice.
was.
Is
Vanilla Ice.
Are
So
people keeping
Wheaties is a
track?
little- yeah.
Do people keep track of who's on the box of Wheaties? Is
Oh yeah.
there a time when you knew?
Yeah, I read Chartable
I
for
think-
Wheaties boxes.
Yeah, I think it's still Bruce Jenner, actually.
You
a
dead
little bit.
named.
No, I think they just kept the old
Okay.
picture from back in the day.
So
Wasn't he like the first, or she, or was it? Can you say he if you're talking about when back in the day, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
I
the
yes,
rules.
I associate Wheaties with Bruce Jenner.
Yeah.
But anyway, in terms of taste, my memory is Wheaties are somewhere between cornflakes and like Raisin Bran minus the raisins. Is that right?
Yes. That's
I
how
think,
of
yeah,
it.
Wheaties is just the flakes, I believe,
Mhm.
without any kind of.
It's just wheat flakes.
Yeah.
and it tastes like raisin.
They have
bran.
not been
I-
frosted.
Yes.
Without
Yeah.
the raisins.
Yeah, without the raisins.
No.
No raisins.
There are some
Didn't-
cereals that you wonder why they're still around. Like there's
Ooh.
Wheaties, there's
Could
cornflakes,
spend a whole episode talking about
Yeah.
this.
grape
Cereals.
nuts.
That,
Grape nut, yeah.
I can't do grape nuts. I've tried so many
Well,
times.
who are the lunatics who's like, I gotta get my grape
I
nuts?
feel like Jeff. Do you like grape nuts?
I don't, but I have a family member that loved them, and he's nuts.
I think they,
But Jeff, just know that
A
Allison
lunatic.
thinks you're the type who would like grape nuts.
Do you see where I could think you might? Or do you feel
I'm a little
insulted?
offended.
Okay,
to
I'm
be
sorry.
honest.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I think there's a.
I know,
I think maybe at some point grape nuts like associated themselves with health. I don't know if they are actually healthy. It could be one of those things like smoothies where it's like that's not actually healthy. But I think at one point that was like the healthy choice for breakfast.
Yeah,
maybe
in the 70s it was like the health cereal.
Sure,
right?
I think it's that thing of how healthy it is directly proportional to how terrible it is.
Right.
And so the fact that it was so awful and unenjoyable leads people to think like, oh, this must be good for me because it's just terrible. There's no reason people would eat this if it wasn't good for you.
Like when people say the crust is the healthiest part of the bread.
Yeah.
Not that as an adult I have a problem with crust, but as a kid it was not good.
Yeah. All I think
Took
about
me
grape nuts is when you pour milk on them and they don't move at all. They don't float even a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's got to be healthy. It's just sitting there at the bottom of the bowl.
And you
so,
let it sit forever
like
and they never get soft.
They never
no matter
get
what.
soft.
It's like
They
gravel.
absorb no
Something,
moisture.
right? Yeah.
You know what is also quietly not a great cereal?
Okay, give us a hint.
Yeah.
Rice Krispies.
Oh, okay. Rice Krispies.
Is it Rice Krispies? Yeah, I saw you write frosted Rice Krispies on the
Because
list. Did
plain ass Rice Krispies taste like just.
But our son likes them. Did you decide he would prefer
only likes
frosted?
them because you put Truvia on them, and now he has to have Truvia, and I'm like, this is not
What's
happening.
Truvia?
We're just gonna
Is
get.
that
It's an artificial sweetener.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's get frosted fucking Rice Krispies.
So you
then.
decided, because I was like, oh, Elliot has been
He
asking
likes
for.
Rice Krispies, but he wants it sweetened. It's like, well, then let's just get the sweetened kind.
Okay.
I was never a big cereal kid, but I do have a soft spot for Rice Krispies because I'm such a big texture guy.
Oh,
And,
right.
Ooh, that is
And
a
all the
texture
Grapes
treat.
Nuts fans are right now yelling out their earbuds.
Right. I
And
mean,
they're saying-
maybe that's a texture that some enjoy. I do
Yeah.
not. But the Rice Krispies texture, whatever it is fun in the mouth.
So you like how it like pops in your mouth.
I
Snap,
really
crackle,
do.
pop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It gets you.
Yeah, I know. It's in the slogan for a reason.
I will say with Rice Krispies though, and I don't eat them, and I hadn't eaten them for many years until Elliot started liking them, which Daniel has put the kibosh on, evidently.
No, he likes them. It's just
I know,
he
you're
has
just-
to use Truvia on them.
If they sit in milk too long, don't you find that they lose their texture excitement?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think all cereal gets fucking gross if it's in the bowl for more than 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's part of why I don't eat a lot of it. It's just because like if you don't get it in that window, it just becomes
Right.
a goddamn nightmare. Yeah, Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies in there too long is the worst.
It's like
It goes
mush.
from the most fun texture
Right.
to the least fun texture.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't get behind Fruit Loops.
Yeah,
Our
I
other
don't
son
love them
likes
either.
those.
Yeah.
I like Fruit Loops.
Yeah,
You do?
I like Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Really?
I
So
feel like they
fruity.
stay fairly consistent texture-wise. I'm trying to think.
It's
of,
the taste that I don't
The
like.
It's
taste
its
for
for
that.
own
those.
Very, very
flavor.
fruity.
I
Yeah.
mean, these things have their own flavor. If you're not into
Yeah.
that, then, you know,
I'm not into it.
you're not into it.
And same with like Fruity Pebbles or Trix.
Yeah, that's
Trix is
why.
fruity too, right?
Yeah, I don't even love a fruity candy. Like if I'm having a
Skittle?
candy, I don't love a Skittle. I'll have like 5. If you have a bag of Skittles, I'll take 5, and then I'm good.
Right.
You know what I recently had to do? I can't say what I'm about to say. I always just talk and then I'm like, oops, why am I talking about this? But it was funny because like 2 weeks ago I was bored and I was like, I'm just going to get this big thing of Twizzlers, like a 5-pound, like one of those boxes.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I was like, I'll go through it slowly. I'll just be like, having some candy at home. No,
Sure.
I was eating it so fast that I ended up having to throw away like 3/4 of the box because I was like, I'm going to finish this in 2 days. I can't do anything in moderation when it comes to candy. And I like fruity candy.
Where are
so.
you from, Nicole?
Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like Twizzlers, it's like regional whether you prefer Twizzlers or Red Vines.
Yes.
California people tend to like Red Vines more.
Yeah. I like Twizzlers better.
Yeah.
I love them. They're like addictive to me. I have to slow down.
Cali native, love a Twizzler.
Love a Twizzler.
Really
Yeah.
over a Red Vine.
It's the texture. I love the waxiness.
Yeah, yeah.
The
And I think that's
little
why I like them
chewy-
too.
Smooth and waxy.
yeah,
See,
whereas
that's what
Red
I
Vines
don't
are
like about
hollow.
them.
And Twizzlers aren't.
Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
Twizzlers are hollow.
They are?
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're,
They're
just
just
skinnier
chewy.
and they're chewier.
They're
Yeah.
chewier.
Yeah.
Red Vines can, when they go stale, are a bummer. But like a fresh
You know what?
Yeah.
Costco bin
I
of
might
Red Vines.
say
Oh, no.
Stale red vine better than there's something
I
that
don't-
you know what's I kind
I
of
don't
like.
want to have to work for it.
I kind of like a stale ass gummy bear.
I had some stale gummy bears the other day. They're pretty good.
Like,
it's
when
the
it-
texture. It's like when it's chewier.
And they
or
get a little
something.
skin on them, a little like film, whatever that little film is.
Yeah.
Ooh,
the
that can be
waxiness
fun.
that you're talking
That
about.
can
Yeah.
be fun.
I'm just still digesting, no pun, that Twizzlers are hollow, because I was thinking there's some kind of waxy, twisted, strawberry flavored licorice that's not hollow.
I think you're right.
I don't know what I'm thinking.
There's pull-and peels, though. Twizzler pull-and peels.
I do
too.
enjoy those. I discovered those in college.
I love those.
Or licorice whips. It's like licorice. It's like the real. It's
Oh,
like spaghetti.
God, I haven't seen that in
Or
so
Nerd Ropes.
long.
Nerd ropes.
Yeah.
Nerd ropes are not bad.
Those are pretty good.
We can all agree that button candy's awful because
Can
you're
I-
eating paper, though, right?
Can I just... The Wonka Corporation has fucked nerds over. I'm talking about the candy. If you buy nerds
Not the
now,
people.
Okay.
Yeah.
it's a bag of assorted nerds. It's just all the flavors
It's not
mingled
the box
together.
with 2 flavors
Yeah, the
in it?
whole thing with
the
nerds
little
was you
side?
get the
Oh,
2
yeah.
flavors on
Yeah.
each side with the
mix 'em.
separate openings. That's not. I mean, at least I haven't been able to find that.
Fucking Wonka.
Speaking of
Fucking-
segregation,
seriously, it's all for profit. Yeah.
We're all supposed to ignore it because we got this sexy new Wonka.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
look over here. Look at Timothy Chalamet swinging around on a
Oh,
light
right.
pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't-
Don't even then forget about the fact that we fucked one of our greatest candies.
I know. We used to have Wilder and separated nerds, and now we have Chalamet and a bag of nerds.
Chalamet.
And everybody's asking what their pronouns are, and nobody can make jokes anymore. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. I've gone too far.
So, as we record this, today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Just to take it down for 1 second.
Yes.
Do you know what age he was when he was assassinated? Because I was surprised by this.
I don't.
I bet it's like
Well-
42. I bet it's something.
Okay, Nicole
I'm
is
gonna
going in
guess.
with 42.
I don't know. But
Everyone
42.
back then, like, seemed older than they were.
Yeah.
You know, because there's something about the time.
Right.
Especially if they were like a legendary figure.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think
He
if you
wasn't-
were a man, you were smoking and drinking buttermilk. I think that, and you never had any water.
Exactly.
And they wore a lot of suits.
Right.
So
They
if you
wore
were
a
trying
lot
to
of
be
suits,
respectable,
yes.
you wore a suit, which
Yeah.
makes you
automatically
seem older.
Yeah.
Would
Plus-
anyone else like to guess?
Well,
Because I do know
also,
the answer.
I don't know if, like, my image of him is when he was closer to when he was killed versus, like, maybe when he was younger. Like, in my head, I'm not sure if it's a younger version of him, but
I
I'd
don't
say
know.
like early 40s.
I don't know
I
what
bet
year
it's
that
like
I Have a Dream
30s.
speech was. Do you know, Jeff?
I don't officially. 67
Actually-
or
I
68.
think it was 67 or 68.
And then what year was he assassinated? Do we know?
Because that was
Okay.
the year that everything went crazy. Because then Bobby Kennedy got assassinated.
Got it.
Too,
All right, so we got
the same
2
year?
votes.
Well, yeah. Right? Wasn't it the same year that they got
We-
assassinated?
you know, as bad as things are, like that late 60s had to have been worse.
yeah.
Like, in a way, you had literally like presidents
And then president?
assassinated.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, in a war where you were getting drafted, like that. We just tend to forget about how crazy that was. But go ahead.
Jordan, would you like to enter a guess?
Boy, let's see. Yeah, maybe I'll go a little higher. Maybe I'll go 45.
Okay. Jeff, do you have a guess or do you know?
I have the page up.
He
so
was
I-
Okay.
27.
All right.
He's probably 30 something.
Drum roll.
Oh, shit,
Oh, wait. You have a sound effect. I was going to do it myself.
Oh, I have one somewhere.
I'll take Nicole's.
What if I make that sound?
Yeah, that's a drum.
That works, right?
Oh my God, I love it.
It sounded kind of like it.
39.
39.
Oh my gosh.
So if someone had asked me how old he was, I would have said he was in his 50s.
Sure.
And that
Right.
when I picture him making the speech, he's 50s or like
Man.
I
I would
already do
believe
the
early
old time
60.
math, so I did the
Yeah.
old time math.
Yeah.
To young
39. I had no
He wasn't
idea.
even 40. That's
Mm-mm.
crazy.
He had a dream. I just got anxiety. Same
Yeah.
age.
Oh,
Come
man.
on now. Just kidding. I'm older than him. But that makes sense. I mean, I feel like figures like that, Malcolm X was probably really young too. It's all like they just did so much in their young
Mhm.
age and were such an influential figure that you just automatically assume. But I was always like that, even with actors. Like I always assume an actor's older than
Mhm.
me, and they're usually 26 or something.
Right.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I would
39 makes sense to me. Wish.
I now, like, whenever I see those kind of sad collections of memes where it's like, these people didn't, write their first book till they were 64 or whatever.
Right.
These, so-and-so didn't discover
Never
this
stop
until.
grinding.
Yeah.
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 But they make me feel better.
Yeah.
I enjoy
had
them
to
now.
I did a podcast recently called Screen Drafts. I'll shout it out. Very fun podcast. And the topic was best action movies where the lead is over 55.
Mm.
And it was surprisingly hard. A lot of those movies where you think, you're like, okay, John Wick, Collateral.
When the actor,
the lead has to be over 55.
Oh, wow.
And it was a little harder than I thought. Mostly because, it seems like all the actors we see present a little bit older than they actually are.
Yeah.
Cocoon isn't
that is not an action movie, though.
Yeah, Wilford Brimley is 23.
But Brimley's not that old.
No, yeah, totally.
Wait, really?
Maybe Jeff could look it up. There was a Twitter account where it was like the Brimley Cocoon line, and anytime a celebrity turns the age he was in Cocoon, they would get a tweet from the Wilford Brimley Cocoon line account to let them know how old they were. And I think it was surprisingly young.
I mean, I think a handlebar mustache and suspenders makes anybody look at least 10 years older than they actually are.
That's true.
What if Captain Kangaroo was actually young? And what happened to that guy?
He was probably only like 55, I think, probably when he died. That's what I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley was 50 in that movie.
Oh, my God.
I have crossed the Brimley Cocoon line.
50.
That is wild.
He must have been playing older than he was, though, right?
I don't know. That guy he's just old all the time.
Yeah, like Angela Lansbury.
Yes, just like Angela Lansbury.
He was 50 when the film was released, so he may easily have been 49 when it was shot.
That's so nuts.
They put him in old face. That is crazy. I remember not liking Cocoon. I saw it when I was a little kid, and it was kind of, you don't know it.
Is that a Kubrick movie?
No,
it's Ron Howard.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know that one.
I think it's actually like hopeful and feel good, probably, but I found it disturbing.
Oh.
It's not a bad movie. It's just that I think there's some weird thing where it's not. You can't watch it because the rights holder might be. I think it might have been like Fox, and then when Disney bought Fox, there's like a ton of movies that they just haven't released because Disney doesn't care. They don't, and so they're just in this limbo space where you can't get them.
This is a little bit twee, but have you guys seen this thing where they're setting up the little free library, but for DVDs, and they're giving it the Blockbuster coloring?
No.
So
that's
like
cute.
a little free Blockbuster. So yeah, that might be a fun resource for those kinds of movies.
I have a garage full of DVDs. I should.
Oh, maybe you guys should set up a little free Blockbuster.
But you could do like a full-size free Blockbuster.
I just want to give them. I just want to get rid of them. Frankly.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Yeah. We should put a little free Blockbuster. There is a shop here in Burbank that just opened up like a couple years ago, and it's. I'll give them a shout out. It's called Be Kind, and it's a video VHS rental place. And I'm just
Be Kind, Rewind. I never put it together.
How are you making enough money to afford this rent?
Yeah. I think if you have enough hipsters in a neighborhood, you can sustain one of those kinds of things.
Well, and Burbank has this weird ability to sustain stores like that. Like there are 3 model hobby stores in Burbank.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
there shouldn't be one in all of Los
Comic
Angeles.
book stores that don't sell new comics.
Yeah, there's like 3 railroad train places and 3 hobby stores in Burbank.
And like
they somehow can pull it off.
And 3 shops for the macabre.
Yeah.
Just for like
Halloween,
artifacts of witchcraft and
cool.
witchy shit.
I think you're putting an R.
Yeah, he did put one
in there.
I always pronounce it that way.
Oh, okay.
It's my regional accent.
What accent is that?
It's from Tucson. It's a Tucson accent.
So everyone in Tucson says it there, like that.
No, I don't know. How do you pronounce it?
Tucson.
I say like macabre.
Yeah.
Yes, there's
macabre as well. Corn on the macabre.
Macabre sounds wrong to me.
But then like a fancy person would probably be like macabre.
Macabre.
So like the berry.
Yeah, and I take that R and I give it more prominence because all you. That's right.
I think I got.
Y'all want to get some cauldrons and perform some acts
Those
of
are my
macabre?
cars.
It's dark in here. It's very macabre.
Every time I know the place, there's is it called Dark Delicacies?
Yes, and they have tons of taxidermy.
I have not been in. Every time
No,
I drive
that's
by,
a different place. There's Dark Delicacies, and then there's like, there's the
Delicate Darkacies.
No, it's got a funny name. I forget, but it's like it's taxidermy.
Oh, that's not Dark Delicacies?
No.
Which is the one where you spin the thing in front? It always lands on like witches, something or other.
That might be.
It's Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, no. That is that Dark
Wheel of
Delicacies?
Fortune.
That's the one that's across the street from the Halloween store.
That's Portos.
Yeah, that's
well, I've been in one that had more taxidermy than I care to feast my eyes on.
Right.
Is that Dark Delicacies?
Are you talking about the one that's next to the gun store?
I think so. I don't know.
That is the new one. And
now, wait, which gun store? Because
there's also
in Burbank,
a lot
there are
of
multiple gun stores.
Well, no, this is the brand new
Gun World.
Gun World.
The relocated Gun World.
Yeah.
Gun World used to be next to Porto's.
Right.
Actually.
Yes. This is the fresh and new one. I've never seen a woman walk in or out of that store.
I know, but I have been like flipped off by someone pulling into their driveway, which is a huge surprise. So, I feel like angry people like that maybe shouldn't be going
probably
to
a lot of
gun
shouting
stores.
matches in that parking lot. Every time I drive by Dark Delicacies, I'm like, I bet that's a good place to go in to hear about how monogamy is outdated.
Yes.
Hi, how much is this taxidermy? Monogamy is good.
It's really not natural. Just be with one person your whole life.
Right, we're all just it's part of the Judeo-Christian.
We're more communicative that way. It's honest.
Actually, no. I feel like I do and don't have anything against open relationships.
No, yeah,
but it's definitely a very fun thing to kind of make fun of.
Yes, and that's you see the logic of it when someone explains it. But there is definitely a kind of person who loves to explain.
Can you?
The logic
love
to you.
it.
Can you
love it.
explain to my wife the logic?
But for real, you said
you jail Christian. No, I don't know.
You said that you do and don't have stuff against it. What do you mean?
I do and don't. Because I think, I think people that are open typically seem like they're super communicative, super honest. I have a really, that's really my thing. I don't like when people lie. I don't like when people hide things that they want to maybe do outside of the relationship. So I think in that way, it's great. I think people that do it to solve a problem in their relationship are bad or whatever, doing it wrong. And then I also think people who are because I think it's just you run into so many dudes that are me and my girlfriend are ethnically non-monogamous. I always say ethnically. Maybe they're ethnically non-monogamous as well, which you should be. Just be open to everybody. But yeah, I don't know. I think then it gets a little skeezy, and also it can be dismissive in some ways of the secondary or other partners. I think it's it's a bummer for
and
those people.
Also I think I say as someone who has had no experience in it, I would think it could be dismissive of the secondary being the new person.
Yeah,
yes,
the new person.
I
the
agree
outside,
with you.
the third,
yeah.
more or less. Yeah,
right.
And I think people, you can sign up for that because it's sometimes you just don't want a relationship. You want something casual, but there is something to could they sleep over? If they couldn't sleep over, that would suck to be with somebody. Then they're I gotta go back home to my wife and sleep in our bed. I think so. That would feel is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think there's a lot of people that I'm learning as I'm trying to open my mind that, I don't understand everything about relationships. People in relationships are evolving constantly. So it's if that leads to more honesty and less cheating, I'm all about it.
Right. That's interesting. It's funny. I have this, I guess, bias against it where I just feel how can that work? How someone who's, I'm acknowledging that this is not necessarily accurate and that this is a bias I have, but I go into it thinking, how can that truly be okay for all the parties involved?
Yeah.
But maybe it is. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, I just think, whatever. It's my only thing with that is I'm always suspicious about them both being equally on board. It's it always feels to me it's probably one person and the other person's
driving
going
the
along
car,
with
yeah.
it
There's
a little more. How can you both be on the same page?
It seems like when you see a rockabilly couple, you're you both like this.
Yeah,
you both like this equally, or one person is super into rockabilly.
Yeah. Who put the hair wax in first?
Right.
Tell us.
Yes.
Just tell us.
One of you had to be the first.
One of you got those American traditional tattoos first. The other one just liked them into the same thing.
You didn't both at the same time say, let's pretend like we're from the 50s on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, see? Well, I thought that's something also because it's if you came into the relationship both being non-monogamous people, that's probably
right.
Sure.
But yeah, I always think when it's we opened our relationship, I'm oh, y'all are on the path to divorce. Is that what's going on? I mean, but I don't know. Maybe it does work when people do that.
And also, it's if you don't have kids, whatever.
Yeah.
Some of them do have kids, though.
Yeah.
And that's when I start to get a little bit and I don't. It's not because I think there's anything morally wrong with it or anything. It's just that's an instability that in a risk that you're bringing into the situation that I don't know. As a child of divorce, I'm maybe you should just focus on each other and the stability of the family. It'd be better for the kids. But
I think people ignore that kind of stuff a lot too, just in relationships in general. Because I'm a child of divorce, so I feel like I'm super sensitive to it as well. Like if I hear someone talking about their partner negatively or whatever, and the kids right behind them, I'm like, like they're not always computing that their kids will be affected, even if they don't know what's going on. They always know on some level.
It's so wild how sensitive they are. Like, our son is like, he talks about money now, like he's worried about money, and we're like, oh my God, have we talked around him? Has he heard us talking about money? And then he's now like freaked out about, like, you just have to be so careful.
Elliot told me his New Year's resolution was to worry less about money.
I know.
Wow. What an
Isn't
adult
that
ass New Year's
intense?
resolution.
I know. He's 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be like, get good at coloring?
Yeah.
More Legos.
He's like, invest somewhere.
It's crazy to me.
I need a Roth IRA. I don't know what it is. I know we need it. Get a Roth IRA.
It's crazy to me that he understood what a resolution, well, he called it a revolution, but his new revolution is to worry less about money. It's crazy that he understood enough what that is, though. I feel like
he has a revised New Year's resolution, though, which he told me in private the other day. And it's not a secret so much as he just didn't want you to hear it.
Are we allowed to say it on the show?
Yeah. It's to be nicer to Wendy, or to spend more time with Wendy, our dog.
Oh, that's so sweet. That is so sweet. He's a sweetie.
He is a sweetie.
But I do feel like his concern, but maybe this is just how it would be in a 6-year-old. His concern about money is
he'll get fewer presents.
Yes, for his birthday and Christmas.
Not that we're gonna have to move out of the house or anything like that. It's like, will this mean fewer presents for my birthday, or we won't be able to go to Disneyland or something?
Remember at Costco when he started to ask you what your salary is, and you weren't going to answer, and I was like, Daniel, he doesn't need to know that.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, he wouldn't understand what I could tell him $100 a month, and he'd be like,
"Whoa!"
Wow. But also, like,
let's buy a blimp.
Allison's instincts were right, because he could like remember it and then tell his friends at school or something. And,
that's what would happen.
Yeah.
Well, we sent him to a public school, which I believe in public schools. But the thing is, like, there's kids from so many different backgrounds, and so there's a kid whose dad has a Bugatti, like, but then there's also kids that don't have anything, and I get really hyper conscious about like not having him go in there and say like, I got all this stuff from Santa or something, because I don't want some kid who like got a little wood train to be like, I guess Santa doesn't like me,
I mean, a wood train is pricey, but I know what you're saying.
Well,
wait, I know that you mentioned the Bugatti thing. I've never seen a Bugatti.
Well, there aren't many out there. They're like $3 million.
I know it as a pull for a rich guy's car, but I can't picture
Jeff,
what they actually
how much is a
look
Bugatti?
6 figures.
I mean,
it depends on what you're getting, but yeah, there are ones that are like millions of dollars.
Wow.
I mean, I think.
Do they look nice?
They look, they're not bad looking. I mean, it's not my dish of peas exactly, but they look like a rich guy's sports car, but they're not.
Sounds like an unusual pasta shape.
Yeah. It kind of looks that way, but they're not.
Bucatini is actual pasta.
Right. Yes.
That's where they got it from.
The Lamborghini Bucatini is.
It look like a little wagon wheel.
What if there was a pasta shape that you could only get if you're super rich, and so?
Oh my God, the world's most exclusive pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Bucatini? Is that the one where?
It's like a thick spaghetti, right?
I think
it's hollow in the middle.
But wait, what's the new
like
one?
a Twizzler.
What's
like
the
a
new
Twizzler.
the new advanced?
Yeah, there was a lot going.
Pasta.
There were a lot of pasta tomfoolery happening during the pandemic, and these people who had a cooking show or cooking podcast came out with a new pasta shape.
I've seen it.
I think
there.
I remember that.
Remember this?
Yeah.
But the Bucatini, like people couldn't get it or something, right? Do you guys remember this?
I don't know. There's a Bucatini shortage.
I think there was a Bucatini. I believe.
I know that fucking guy.
Yeah. Okay, got to circle back on something. Jeff, did you find Topher Grace's wife?
Yes. Her name is Ashley Hinshaw.
Oh, yes, I know. Who did she play?
She played a character named Bridget.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have much information on
That's
the
fine.
character.
Is she blonde?
Yes.
I wonder if she played the wife of the minister on the show.
No, that was Anna Camp.
Oh.
I
Okay.
don't know why I know that because I was just telling it. I keep like things keep coming up
Yes.
today that I was just talking about. So I'm like, this is so weird. But yeah, no, I don't know what. It was probably like one of those like 2 episodes and then a vampire ate her things.
You know what was coming up for me a lot at the beginning of the year? So much that I was like, what?
We're
there
at
has
the
to
beginning
be.
of the year, honey. closer to
more,
the
more in the
first couple
beginning.
of days.
Thank you. Yes. So much so that I was like, there has to be meaning in this, except I don't know what it is. Some people eat shrimp tails. Are you aware of this? I'm not.
For me, I have never eaten them.
Okay, nor have I.
And then I think I was at. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I was having a meal with. If people are familiar with the Good Mythical Morning averse, I was having a meal with Jordan Myrick, and they are like a food blogger. And I was putting my shrimp tails aside, and they gave me real shit for not eating the tails.
What?
Apparently, it's like an amateur move not to eat the tails.
But
if you're a real foodie, I guess you eat the tails.
But they're like.
But do you
hard
enjoy
to
them?
Chew.
It's not you. Would one enjoy the tail?
I mean, it seemed to me like tail eaters are doing it on principle.
Yeah, there's nothing to enjoy.
And I'm not talking about ass eating here, which everyone enjoys and should enjoy. No, but I do think it does seem like the people who eat the shrimp tails,
they feel better.
Do they maintain eye contact while they're eating them?
Yeah.
I think I don't know if I was told this as a kid or just kind of reverse engineered it in your mind, but I always thought that would mess up your shits. I thought they would get like caught in your shits.
Maybe it would help it along. Sounds
maybe it
fibrous.
would.
Ugh.
Could be, but
yeah.
But no, people are just munching those tails.
I feel like that's a thing where, like when you see how they put candy corn, they're like, look what you can do with candy corn. If you face it this way, then it looks like a cob of corn, and that's why it's called candy corn. Have you ever seen that?
No,
There's
but it makes
all
sense.
These things that like happen from like TikToks, and I mean, obviously this is a foodie thing because I have also heard this from foodies, but like it's a weird thing where you never hear about it, and then all of a sudden it's like everybody's like, you don't eat the tails on your shrimp, and it's like, what? When was that a thing?
So my mother-in-law really enjoys shrimp, and she was here around the holidays, and she just casually mentioned, you can eat the whole shrimp. And I thought that's disgusting.
Well, I know people,
gross.
If you go to a sushi place, you can order the shrimp heads, and they'll fry them, and people I know who eat them say it's the best part of the shrimp, and I will not try it.
Okay, so she mentioned it. And then when I had Stephanie Wilder-Taylor on the show, I was reading her book ahead of time, and she talked about being such a fried shrimp addict when she was a little kid that she'd eat the tail. I was like, why is everyone talking about this? Then she came on the show, we talked about it, and I was like, this is so weird that it's come up twice in this week. And then I swear to God, STG, internet parlance, that night or the next night, Elliot said, I ate the tail, because he really likes shrimp. And we had shrimp.
And he is not on TikTok or anything.
No, and he said, he told me that he ate the tails. I was like, well, what is happening?
No.
Is this one of those, like, what is that thing where
really makes you think there's
reset? Where they say it's like a...
Mandela effect?
Is this Mandela effect where everyone always ate the tails and we just, like...
Right,
we remember a reality where they didn't.
We shifted dimensions. We lived most of our life in a dimension where you don't eat shrimp tails, and now we're here eating the tails, and it's the Berenstein Bear.
The Matrix is getting porous.
Right, yes, and Sinbad had a movie called Kazam.
What was it really, Shazam?
No, I guess Shaq was in Kazam, but people think it was Sinbad, and it was called Shazam. I think that's a Mandela effect thing. Anyway.
By the way, for the record, I like Sinbad.
Sinbad's fucking hilarious.
He's very funny. For some reason, he became the butt of jokes, and I don't think it was deserved. I thought he's a hilarious,
what would be the joke
guy.
about Sinbad?
Well, he was like I feel for a while he was doing
comedy.
maybe because he was doing movies that were sort of like family. I don't know.
Sure.
Like it was like
Jingle All the Way.
Like,
It was kind of a
bad
punchline.
broad
Jingle
movies for a
Way.
long
Yeah, but I don't know.
Hey, I mean, people were
criticism.
probably coming to him in the late 80s saying, here's back in the Brinks truck up to his house and saying, make this movie. And he'd go, okay. Like,
yeah, everybody made
with that?
unfunny bad comedies in the 80s.
Yeah.
There were just a lot of them.
Do you think we would have, or do you think we would have known better?
Oh,
I would have done it.
I would have stayed
I
credit.
never would have sold out.
I would have been that guy, Bill Hicks. That would have been
Yes.
me. I would
Yes.
have been the Bill Hicks of mine.
Who's the Bill Hicks of today? I mean, I know there's plenty of people who think they are Bill Hicks of today.
I know. I feel like that kind of has a different meaning now.
Mm-hmm.
That
Like Joe Rogan.
No.
Like just in terms of like popular for being like, or thinks they're like a truth teller.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think like that truth teller kind of comedy is so fucking boring. Like if I don't know, I'm not a Bill Hicks fan. Maybe Bill Burr, if you want to be generous. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it does seem like that he was kind of early to like comedian as guru. Like, that's a fairly new concept, and it seems like he was kind of early to that.
Yeah. If that's what you're talking about, too, Russell Brand is very much
God,
yeah.
Big time. Sure. He was like, he thinks he's funny and enlightened.
Sure, right.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't think I buy either one of those from man.
If I'm thinking of comics that have that vibe the most, it would probably be, and I'm blanking on his name. He took over the Man Show. He was with Joe
Doug Stanhope.
Oh, yeah, sure. I think he's got a
more
little
of
bit of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's a different time.
Sure. But yeah, I think people like people like idolized that stuff and now are trying to be it in their own way. To diminishing results, I think.
Yeah.
I saw something about, or it was like the Ariana Grande video that just came out. And then someone tweeted something like, what is happening to original ideas? And it's so real because it's like, yeah, sure, we're rebooting everything, we're remaking everything, but it's getting to a point where it's like every music video is influenced by another music video, but it's super watered down and like not as well done. It is a bummer.
What is her what is her video like?
It is based off of the Paula Abdul music video that I can't think of. Straight up, not telling me?
With the cat?
Not with the cat. I wish, right? That'd be so obvious. But no, it's a video where they're all like standing in like a warehouse and it's a bunch of dancers.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's like supposed to be influenced by that video, but really
there's so many. I'm thinking there's a Janet Jackson video that's like that too. Like there's that whole warehouse with the dancers thing is a trope.
Flashdance.
Yeah, honey, Flashdance.
I believe she was a maniac on the floor at a warehouse kind of situation. A steamy warehouse.
That's true. I have a theory that, like, if you're Gen Z, late millennial, that, like, the pace of content is so much. There's so much that, like, these people that are young now, they just don't have time to mine the old stuff. You don't have to. I barely have time. So I have had a lifetime of a slow pace. So I have seen old movies, but like you meet young people now and they just barely have an awareness of things from like even the 90s, because I mean, who the fuck has time to watch old TV shows and old movies and old music videos? So the ability to be derivative now as an artist is greater because they're not going to know the source of what you're doing. So stuff's just going to be more derivative because they don't know what the original thing was.
Well, that's with, I always get into this stuff, but the same thing with TikTok again, where it's like people also think of that as just like, that's just how it works. And it's like, actually, it's not. Someone who is very intelligent or fun or funny, whatever, comes up with an idea, and then a million people make the same idea over and over again. That's not how it used to work. And,
right.
I mean, maybe it was, I think, obviously, like, Kiss Me Kate is influenced by, what's the
Taming of the Shrew.
Taming of the Shrew. Yeah. So it's like, obviously, everything's, inspired by older material, but at the same time, at this point, it is just getting remade, repackaged, repurposed over and over again.
Yes, I actually, because I spend time on TikTok as well. It waxes and wanes.
Some say too much time.
Honestly, sometimes I'm like, I have got to spend more time on TikTok because I'm spending too much time arguing with people on threads. At least TikTok is like a shower for my brain. Yeah. I get brainwashed. Yeah. No, TikTok is like escapism and it makes me feel better afterwards versus all the other ones don't make me feel good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, though.
I would be curious to hear what the people who are heavy TikTok users, because I always like hearing, apparently that algorithm is hyper focused to what your deal is or what you like. I would be interested to what kind of videos you guys see over and over again.
I had this thought because my YouTube algorithm is completely fucked right now because I pulled up a couple videos about learning Japanese, and now YouTube's like, oh, apparently the only thing he wants to see is Japanese stuff. And it's like, I have other interests, YouTube. Look through my history. Like, you know this about me. And so I just wish that there was a way to borrow another person's algorithm. Like, you could be like an influencer who shares algorithm. Like, oh,
like
you
sharing
want
a playlist.
Like, you want these kinds of things or these kinds of things? Because even Netflix doesn't fucking get me. Mm-hmm. Like, I want some way to like.
His TikTok was nonstop Taylor Swift live
video. And I'm like, I won't even get back into it, but it's like TikTok did not understand me. Let's just put it that way. But like now TikTok I'm a little more careful with TikTok.
Okay.
But I want to be able to share. We should be able to share Someone figure that out, please.
I feel like you only notice that it doesn't know you when it starts to, like when I've talked about it before, but I was getting a lot of like shedding reptiles. I still get, and you know what hooks me? There's a lot of people feeding snakes on there.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll be like, no. And then I'll be like, wait.
You just like see something swallowed whole.
What legs were hanging out of its mouth? What was that? And then I go back out of like some macabre curiosity. And every time I go back, I'm like, now I'm going to get more of this.
I'm cutting back on the carbs.
There you go. For the Facebook ones, for like Instagram or Threads, I am convinced that the amount of time you spend, like if I'm on a thread or something, and then I get distracted, and it's not something that I want. I get freaked out because now it's going to think I only want that content, and so now I'll like things that I don't really like just to train the fucking algorithm that I want this stuff.
What kind of stuff do you get, Niccole?
I had to get off of TikTok because the last time I was on it regularly, I was going through a breakup. And so everything I was watching was like, he's cheating on you, girl. Like, don't you even think he likes you because he didn't do this? And I was like, he doesn't like it made me go cuckoo. And so I had
he's probably cheating on you, Niccole.
Yeah.
They all say my first name.
I threw my phone. I'm like, what the fuck? No, but yeah, it was like truly, it was infecting my brain. So I had to get off of it. I will poke on there every now and then. But yeah, I watch like Instagram Reels like an old person now.
I mean,
they're just safer. It's all dog videos now for me.
That's the dream.
You know?
Or have different like social media with different types of algorithms for whatever mood you're in.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time until the AI on these things does start saying your name. I mean, did you hear about that George Carlin thing?
Yes, but all I saw was his daughter responding to it.
That's what I saw too.
Yeah.
Someone wrote a whole hour-long stand-up special as George Carlin, his style of comedy, as though he wrote it now from the grave. So it's like jokes about being dead and stuff.
And then I said it was probably terrible, right?
It actually wasn't terrible. I mean, it's obviously not as good as if George Carlin himself wrote it and someone's doing a George Carlin like impersonation. I think it's not AI voice, but
AI wrote it, right?
But if I told you that this was actually George Carlin, it would be hard not to know. It was pretty fucking close. And
like there were some laughs in it.
There were actual jokes that some of them were funny. Like it was wild.
I guess did the AI write it or perform it?
I'm unclear because I think it was part of like Will Sasso's Dudesy podcast, which is like all about AI, and it might have been Will Sasso doing I can't tell if it's him doing Carlin or if it's one of those voice AI things.
Well, if AI didn't write it,
no, the AI wrote it.
Okay.
It might be AI of his voice because I watched a documentary that was Andy Warhol, all of his diaries, and Andy Warhol's voice narrated the whole thing. Wow. And he didn't read those diaries out loud. It was just crazy. AI was programmed with
and it sounded realistic.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is that so there's going to be these derivatives of derivatives and AI derivatives, but it's like you had to have, it's all based on someone's authentic artistic work in the first place. And I just hope that like we don't lose sight of the fact that you still need humans creating things if you're going to have that other stuff. Like, can we please just value the original creators more?
That's what I'm thinking is getting less valuable is the original creator. I mean, people will reply to my Instagram stories with a tweet. But they don't think I know it's a tweet. Like they're making a joke, but joke isn't a joke because it's just a tweet. And I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that tweet. Because I'll always say that. I'll be like, you didn't just make that statement up. That's that's a joke. But yeah, I think that's happening a lot. It feels like it's getting so watered down that people forget originally it came from someone who created it.
It is weird when you see some kind of joke or concept or idea, and then you start. And I'm not talking about TikTok where people are actively imitating. I like this semi-pithy statement that isn't that funny anyway. This, you know what it is? I've seen so many. Here's an example of one. This thing where like, my dog just sighed, but my dog doesn't have to pay rent and da-da-da.
Exactly.
That one started popping up everywhere. Is that just parallel thinking or is that people copying each other?
I think there's both. I mean, because I've definitely tweeted stuff that then, went viral, but then I'll see somebody tweet the same thing. And I've never thought like, they stole my work. Because I'm like, that's a common thought. Sure. And like, it is annoying when your dog sighs because like, you're like, what the fuck do you do? I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? But no, so I think it varies. But I think to me, it does seem what's happening more is just jokes are becoming, people are just taking them. But then also, it gets, when does it become just part of the zeitgeist and just something that people say? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I think in response to like events, of course, there's always going to be like similar thoughts, and so that kind of thing is going to happen. But there's weird like trendy like ways of performing that happen on TikTok too. That are just like
even the way people are talking. I mean, like literally their intonation and their physical movements are getting like very much the same, and I'm just like, that is so weird. Yes. Like I can always tell when my 30-something friends are watching too much TikTok because they're like slay, and I'm like, no, like you didn't say that 2 weeks ago. Stop watching TikTok all the time, and you can just tell it just feels like too much.
Slay with 5 L's.
Yeah, so
you can see.
Jump scare.
It's interesting. You can see like if you're on there enough. You can see when someone does a certain thing, like who they're following, because this person does that a lot,
It's really interesting, and and I think I just think the problem with it is crediting the people who created it, or even acknowledging it, because sometimes people that create stuff will be like, "Hey, that's my video that you're using, apartment therapy." This happened to somebody I know, and like then everybody yells at that person, like, what do you care? That's how the internet works. It's like, no, it doesn't. Like, if a company is using your video, they should pay you for it or ask you for it, not ever just use it like that.
What did apartment therapy take?
A girl, her name's Francesca Ramsey. I always feel like when I'm talking about people, I'm like, let me make sure how to say it without. Her name's Francesca Ramsey. She made a video. She makes a lot of videos, but one of them was like singing a song about not getting her deposit back while she's painting her apartment, and so it's showing like what she's done to remodel her apartment, and so that went viral. So then a bunch of other people made videos like that too. But then apartment therapy, I believe, took her video and used it, and then when she's talking to them, hey, this is my video, everybody's coming for her, like, who do you think you are? And it's like the person who made the video. The person didn't get $1 for this, that's the problem too, is when other people are making money off of it.
I worked on a YouTube show years and years ago. I will
brag.
I know, I got $500 a week to work for. This is not Good Mythical Morning that I mentioned earlier. Those guys are fine, upstanding dudes. But these other YouTube guys, they wanted to write like a scripted sitcom-like thing. And, like we would turn in the scripts, and then they would come back after these guys did their pass on it, and it would just have like Simpsons jokes in it, or Family Guy
like actual
jokes
ones.
Yeah, just like, I think they had one where someone said, "The goggles, they do nothing. My eyes, the goggles, they do nothing." And, I would go to them and I'd be like, hey, like, I mean, this is kind of, I think this seems like you're just taking, they're like, yeah, it's a joke. People like it. And I think that, like, there's something to, if you grew up on the internet and if you got famous on the internet, you are likely to have a value that just, like, all comedy is memes.
Yes.
Comedy is memes, and you put it in your thing, and if you do it, you're funny, and that's what being funny is. It's using memes, and that's why Elon Musk thinks he's funny, is because he puts memes up, you know. And I think to a certain kind of internet person, that's just okay. And I think that, like, maybe to us, we want to make our own thing that people like, but I think just to certain people, it's like, yeah, I'm funny. I did a meme.
That happened with Brittany Broski too, and AAVE, which is African American Vernacular English, because people were like, yo, like, you are talking like a black person. What are you doing? And she's like, no, I'm not. That's just internet speak.
Right. She didn't know.
And it's I don't know if she knew or not, but I know that the way she justified it was that's just how people talk on the internet. And it's like, absolutely, sure. However, that also came from a specific group of people that are typically pilfered and plundered from. You know what I'm saying?
A lot.
And, a lot.
Well, a lot of the words and things that get become trendy new words are coming from subcultures or people who are marginalized, and it's hard sometimes to trace it because it just becomes a word everyone's using or a phrase.
Wait, who's Brittany Broski?
She's a very okay, those kombucha memes where she's like drinking it, she's like,
oh yes,
and then she likes it, and that she became famous from that meme. And she's very funny. She's really good at the internet. Yeah, she's funny, and like, I have my own opinions on appropriating language. Sometimes I'm like, well, listen, if they like the people and they like the thing, like Billie Eilish loves hip hop. So I would never think Billie Eilish is trying to be anything other than a girl who loves hip hop. So she talks like that or whatever. But like, yeah, with her, it was definitely taken from, a certain way of talking. And when I think you just don't, when you call it internet language, I think that that's just the mindset these days. I don't even think it's necessarily being malicious.
Right. Does she still talk like that? I'm gonna have to go.
So I haven't seen her in a long time. I feel like she has her own vibe now because she's been famous for maybe a few years now at least. So she has like a big podcast and stuff. I don't really follow
I've never
her.
Even heard of this person.
She is like, I thought she was funny. She just has a funny personality. So, and I think that just people, when anybody gets popular, they're going to have to come up against something. And that was the only thing where I was like, girl, it's not internet speak. It's definitely a people's way of speaking. And that's fine if you want to speak like that as well, but acknowledge what it really is.
Right.
Maybe more than just saying that's just internet speak.
That's interesting. The thing that you were talking about, Jordan, with the drop, with someone putting in like a joke just from a show. I wonder if that's also, because of things like Family Guy, where so much of the comedy is just a reference.
Sure.
And that's just the joke. The joke is simply like, hey, remember that? And if you're thinking that that's comedy, like just quoting a line becomes a joke, that those lines of what is just plagiarism versus reference becomes blurred.
Well, it's like whether it's in sort of implied air quotes.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh, this is just for people. Yeah, I know it's a ripoff of that line. That's the joke. People are gonna like hearing it. Versus, no, you just rip that off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that listen, I love The Simpsons. I use a lot of Simpsons quotes in day-to-day life, but I think I think we all kind of just understand, like, if you're doing a written piece of material, if you're writing a show, if you're writing a sketch, like, that should be original jokes and thoughts and stuff.
Right.
But I think, it's like I wouldn't do anything for money that used someone else's jokes. But, like I would say, stupid sexy Flanders at a bar, if someone was wearing a sexy ski suit there. But I wouldn't like put it into anything I was doing for money.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to come off as
sweet bucks a week.
as trying to pass it off as your own.
Yeah, it's definitely a generational thing because I do think like we were like, I don't know why, but something about from Twitter to TikTok blowing up. It was like, and then the Twitter started going to the meme pages on Instagram. Then TikTok started taking it and kind of just replicating the same thing. And I think at some point during that period, it was like, stop complaining, people who think they're funny. Let everybody just have your thing that you said it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And kind of you're the crank for calling it out. I mean, that was how I was treated when I told these guys maybe we shouldn't put Simpsons jokes in this thing. Like, I was some, like, fussy old man.
But it was funny in The Simpsons. Why would
you laughed at
funny
why
joke,
wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Let's say hello and welcome to the new patrons.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/AllisonRosen.
Patreon. All right. Hello and welcome to Amanda Brown, Gabrielle Fonseca, Megan O. O'Reilly, which I believe is a reference to the auto parts store. You guys know this commercial, right? O'Reilly. Rich Morikawa, Krista Lorenz, Paulina Cromer, not Kramer, but Cromer, unless it's pronounced Kramer, but spelled Cromer, Jessica Dunnigan, James L. Wilson, Lisa Snyder, Allison Muller, and Debbie Cummings. Hello. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying all of the Patreonage. Patreon. While we're talking about what?
You did Patreon. I said Nidge.
Oh, yeah. Patreon.com/AllisonRosen. While we're talking about things you can subscribe to, I would like to just let you know about my Substack, where I'm telling a personal story in installments, AllisonRosen.substack.com. And on the Monday episode this week, I had Jack Newcomb, who is the publisher of my book, Tropical Attire and Courage and Other Phrases That Scare Me. The 5th anniversary edition was just released. And we talked about, it was a really interesting conversation. He had pitched himself as like, I'm thinking it might be easier for you to talk about your writing and your process and stuff if I'm like there, because you might feel sheepish about talking about it. Otherwise, I was like, you do not know. Like, I am so good about talking myself up. No, but anyway, we talked about the book and how he came to know me and stuff like that. But then the conversation went in these other directions because he's had a very interesting career path, and it was a really fascinating conversation, I think. And I'm not talking about the me part of it. So check that out. Okay, let's do Podcast Pals product picks.
Podcast Pals peanut picks.
Jordan, do you happen to have one?
Yeah, you know what? I've been using an espresso machine.
Look at you!
I traded up from the Keurig, which I had been using for years and years and years, and it was fine. I had always kind of assumed, like, I am just like fine with like Denny's coffee. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm fine with that as my morning cup of coffee. But the Keurig crapped out and traded up to the espresso machine. It's foamy on the top. I really like it. I really like the Nespresso machine, and you can get a lot of different pods with different flavors. I look forward to it in a way that I never did to the Keurig cup.
Are you making espresso, or are you making because I know that it can make a full cup of coffee, basically.
Oh, I'm making it all.
Oh, you are?
Sometimes I'll do a little latte in the morning. Sometimes I'll do just, the cup with the foamy on top. It's really great.
Yeah.
When you're making a latte, how are you foaming your milk or frothing your milk? Do you have a little frother as well?
Oh, I've been doing my lattes iced. I haven't done home frothing yet. That's the next step. Yeah, maybe I'll get the little whisk, the little battery powered whisk that froths up. But yeah, I'll put the espresso over ice and pour in the milk of my choice. And enjoy life.
Do you have a favorite pod?
Oh,
favorite flavor?
I've been getting I have historically never loved a sweet coffee drink, but I just on a whim ordered one from this place called Republique in Pasadena, and it was like a Vietnamese like chocolate flavor. It was so fucking good, and now all I want is sweet coffee. So I had a coconut Nespresso pod the other day that I loved, and I had a mocha one the other day that I loved. So yeah, now I'm.
Wait, are those sweetened? The flavored ones?
Flavored.
Good. I'm assuming that there's additional sugar in these, but maybe they're not. Maybe they are just a kiss of wisp.
Okay.
Nespresso, good machine.
Sounds delicious. Niccole, do you have one?
Yeah, mine is way more basic, but the first thing I thought of was Tiger Balm patches.
Oh, what are these for?
So Tiger Balm is a minty mentholy spread that you put on your muscles to make them relax and a balm. Yeah, it's great. But the Tiger Balm patches are patches that have the same stuff, have Tiger Balm in them, but then you can stick them onto your shoulder or your neck or your back, and they work for 9 hours. So they work for way longer.
And it works.
Big time. Yeah, because I get a lot of tension headaches because I have the forward head posture thing going on. And so I have a lot of shoulder pain and neck pain. And I'll just stick it on, and it's amazing. It just goes away. It makes my head feel 10 pounds lighter. It makes me feel better. Yeah.
I am intrigued.
I'm a huge fan. I recommend them to everyone.
So if you have muscle pain, and then muscle pain. Do you feel do you just feel the pain go away, or do you feel your muscle relax?
I think it makes your muscles relax a little bit because I have a lot less pain today than I did yesterday when I put one on. But I also think the way it works is I Googled, because I always got to Google what's happening here. Yeah. But it's it makes the blood vessels come to the surface, which is what ice would do if you're putting ice on there too. But they get cooler and warmer, so they kind of go back and forth. So they relax your muscles as well as, I believe, just take the pain away by making the blood vessels come.
Interesting. I wonder if it would work for cramps.
I think it does. No, it does. I've used it for cramps before.
And it does.
Yes.
Interesting.
And even that's muscle, and you can just stick it right on.
Okay.
Yeah. I love them so much.
I got to try this. Jeff, do you happen to have one?
I do. Following up with my toolbox recommendation from last week, I'm going to do the Ryker Tool Bag Organizer, RYKER. Link will be in the show notes. And it's a small tool bag that rolls, it lays flat, and you can put all your tools in it, and then it rolls up into a bag, and it's a little duffel bag. Clips, you can carry it over your shoulder. Handle has a little bag that pops out very cool.
That's kind of like a chef's knife thing.
Yes.
Yes.
The bag.
Mm.
Yes, chef.
Yes,
Yeah, I
like
love
Jeff Cook.
Yes.
it. Nice.
Niccole, did you notice that it sounded like a flock of geese went by the studio?
We have,
I actually at first thought it was a sound effect, and then
Yeah,
I saw
it
you
was-
guys turn too, and I was
right,
like,
it's
okay.
I think that those are the parrots. We have
yeah.
flocks of very loud parrots around here.
Yeah, it was really loud.
This tool bag sounds cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Does it come in different colors?
Let me see. Yes, camouflage, khaki, and multicolored, which is probably a mix of camouflage.
I know. Jeff, what's your favorite tool?
Oh, geez.
If you had to choose.
I like a vice grip. That's a very handy tool.
Is that a clamp?
It's like it's like a pair of pliers, but it
Oh,
can
yeah.
clamp down
Right.
and kind of snaps
Mhm.
and locks into place. Boy, that's a tough question. Yeah, vice grip is pretty cool because it's so sturdy and there's like a mechanical action to it, and it's very well made.
You like a hammer? How do you feel about hammers?
Hammer's okay.
Okay.
No,
not
just-
crazy about them.
No, it's just it is what it is. It just hammers things.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, probably I like a vice grip. I like a nice pair of needle nose pliers. Those are good. I like a nice pair of wire cutters. Yeah,
Good
What do you
times.
do? You build a lot of things? Is that your thing?
I'm a tinkerer. I like to tinker and fix.
You're a
things.
tinkerer.
But he's a
Okay, I
car
like
guy,
that.
too.
I'm a
Oh,
DIY
nice.
guy, yeah,
Do you have you fix cars up?
yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, I fix them.
Could you fix a Bugatti?
I'd be scared to, but I could probably do it.
I'd be scared too. Also.
When I think of wire cutter, I think of my mom had some tool where I feel like it's like hedge clippers or something. But then if you stick a wire in like almost the middle of it, it clips the wire.
Mhm.
What is that? Just some kind of
Like a wire stripper.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, there are ones where there's a wire stripper in the middle, and then you can crimp on the end and
Oh,
clip it and things
okay.
like that.
Daniel, you've become handy of late. Your favorite tool?
Well, I don't know if it's my favorite tool, but I was thrilled when I learned that it existed. It's it's like a thing that I forget. I don't know how I would describe it. It's like a wrench, I think, that has like a prong on it, and it's used to fix crooked doors. So, like, if you have a door that, like, it's hard to open or whatever, the hinges, you can take the bolt out of the hinges, and then this thing, you put it in there, and then you can bend it.
Like a crowbar?
It's sort of like, you're using the torque of this thing, and it'll actually bend it so that you can straighten your door out without having to take the whole thing apart and reframe the door.
Interesting.
But I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a nice thing to have around the house because doors will often just be, they'll get that little like, it's hard to like open and close.
Oh,
them.
I got one of those now.
Yeah.
You
I
need
got
this
one of those now.
this shiatsu bar for doors.
Mhm.
The bar.
You gotta get it.
Niccole and Jordan, do you have a favorite tool?
I was just thinking I was like, do I have one?
I mean, I feel like mine's going to be like hair straightener.
My favorite tool, something that fixes everything, the
Love.
Holy Bible.
Uh-oh.
That's right. I've been weirdly Christian this whole time.
Did you just call God a tool?
Yes. For what can't he fix with his glory and wisdom? Yes, God is a tool. I'm gonna get on my high horse about it.
Jack Newcomb, who I mentioned, the guy from Creators who published my book, they're like originally a newspaper syndication company. And he's our age. And he was saying that he grew up Catholic. And what was he? Oh, I know. He's reading. There's some book about In and Out, like a biography.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
Do you know about this?
I saw that browsing at the bookstore the other day. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like maybe the daughter of the founder wrote like the In and Out story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I guess each chapter, because the Bible is such a big deal to the In and Out
Yes.
people.
Got the verses on the bottom of the cups.
Yes. Each chapter starts with something from the Bible, and it was saying like, because God, fill in the blank, he gave his only son.
Yes.
Loved us
For God
so much.
loved the world, he gave his only
Yes.
begotten son. Sure.
And Jack was saying that, he's heard that so many times, but as someone who, he just had his third kid, he was like, I would kill anyone who tried to harm my kid. Like, I would never sacrifice my son to the world. And then I was thinking, I've heard that a million times too, and I've never truly understood what it means.
It's illogical when you think about it because if God didn't sacrifice anything, it's like because he's getting his son back.
Oh.
He's not sacrificing. It's like it's like your kid just got expelled from college and is moving back home
and live with you.
Yeah, he didn't sacrifice anything.
God's taking a hit. That's like annoying. God's got to convert his rec room into
right.
Jesus'
He had
bedroom.
just set up his sewing machine.
But
He
wants us to feel like, okay, God, you sacrificed.
Right.
He's sitting right next to you.
He's always raiding the fridge.
You lost nothing.
It's a pain in the ass, though.
That is such a good point.
Thank you. Listen, God and I, we
go back.
If this does us in, then he hasn't been paying attention.
Let's do just me or everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Skadoop doop.
It's time for just me or everyone.
Jordan, do you happen to have one?
I think I do. Let me know if I've done this on the show before.
Okay.
I think I've talked about this elsewhere.
Right.
And if I've talked about it here, shut me the fuck down.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we will.
I'll evict you from this room.
I insist that you do. I think I've always liked this, but I am at a point now where I love an errand. I love a classic errand.
You've not done. I don't think
We're
you've done this
talking
one.
post office.
Oh my God.
Dry cleaner. Bank. Love to go to the bank. Make a deposit at the bank. Yeah, just these like things that you qualify as that fall under the category of errand. Different than a chore. Don't like a chore. Love an errand.
Those things are chores to me that you just described.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's doing the dishes not fun.
Right.
Going to buy a book of stamps, that's a hoot. I don't know. It feels and these are largely things, I guess, other than dry cleaner that you kind of can do on the internet now, and that they're kind of going away. Right. But I don't know. There's a sense of accomplishment I get from like going to the hardware store and picking up a pack of light bulbs.
How do you feel about? Oh no, I was so enraged at this idea of enjoying an errand that I completely lost. I was going to say, how do you feel about doing something and then getting gas?
Oh, don't love getting gas.
No,
yeah, I dread
the
it.
worst. Okay, but why is that not an errand? Because you have to like
fucking great question. And maybe I don't know.
That's different. That just like shows up. You're like, I'm out of gas. I got to go get gas.
Yeah,
right.
You didn't
when you
plan
need
it
stamps,
into your
it's
day.
like,
yeah,
sure.
Like, I need them. I'm going to go do this on my time. And you know what? It's self-contained.
Right.
And when it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
I like that.
Getting gas to me always feels like an intrusion. Like,
come on.
Yeah, because you just want to be like out and about, and then you're like, oh, I can't. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Gas.
Yeah, maybe there's something too of like maybe it's like being a work from home person. It's like you get to have a little interaction. You get to make a joke with the bank guy. You get to
go out and be with people.
When I lived in New York, near the end, almost every day I would. So I lived in Brooklyn, and I would. Yeah, I don't talk about it very much. There was a Trader Joe's like kind of up a certain street a ways away. So I would go and I would get coffee, and then I would go to this one grocery store that had amazing tiny samples, and then I would make my way to Trader Joe's. Like every single day I would do this errand. And I really looked forward to that, and I really enjoyed it because I felt like I was doing something. But because I was on foot though. Something about, for me, getting in the car and going somewhere, that's what makes
like the
me
parking's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fun. But
I like if I could do an errand on foot, I don't think I'd be so averse to it.
Yeah, foot errand's great.
All right. I mean, so I am not. You say just me or everyone, not me.
Okay.
Where do you guys come down on errands? I feel like you love going to the hardware store.
I just like being away from my family.
See, like I like errands. I think I think the same thing. I think it's like when it's something for me that feels very adult. I'm like, oh my god, look at me!
Right?
Yeah,
There is something.
Yeah, like oh look at me! I just dropped off that package in the thingy. Yeah, there's something about it that feels very like a child doing grown up things.
I'm helping daddy.
Yeah.
My mom would always let me put the letters in the mailbox. Like, okay, put them in there.
Yeah.
Like, yay. So maybe I have a little residual shit from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like going to the hardware store, but
Hardware store's
pretty
fun.
much nothing else.
Yeah.
Maybe a hobby store, but I don't do that. but went back when I would go to a hobby store. I would look that or the art supply.
Yeah.
Cruise down to Dark Delicacies. Get some
I
brass
always-
belt
loves
buckles.
that. He
I
loves
always
that.
loved a stationery store.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Like with
Yeah.
all the
Those good.
pens.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Planners.
There's a great one in Larchmont, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
They have everything like colored,
Mm-hmm.
coded, and beautiful and fresh, but the pencil's like $20. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeff, what about you?
I like an errand, especially on foot. It's just very it's like you're getting a thing done, you're getting it checked off the list. It's very specific. It's like when it's done, and you feel like you got something accomplished. I like that. It's a good one.
I have it just mirror everyone. And I know this is not everyone, but maybe the idea behind it might be everyone. So I realized ever since I worked at the Adam Carolla show, so this was starting in 2015, ever since after, whenever I'm driving, I always think I see, and you're the only one who will know who I'm talking about, Gary Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He has an every face or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's ever once been
It's in
him.
every name, certainly.
Yeah, right? It's like John Doe. But for some reason, I always think it's him in the car approaching. I have seen him, quote unquote, hundreds of times. I don't think I've ever seen him. Is there like a certain person that you guys always think you see, but it's not them?
I have a friend from way back. He converted to Hasidism, so he became like one of those devout Jewish guys with the full beard and the black outfit and the hat and everything. And he moved to Brooklyn. He may even have gone to Israel to go to a yeshiva or whatever at some point. Kind of lost touch with him, but I have seen so many guys where I am like, I'll be close,
Like in the outfit or no?
Yeah, well, just like and just wearing. They all wear the uniform, the black jacket.
But you only think it's him if you're seeing someone in the outfit.
Right, like I'm not seeing some. Although he did while he was in that world, he would still write reviews for Rap Pages, which is a Larry Flint magazine. It's very funny. But I've been at grocery store checkout lines like as close as we are, just staring at like, how are you not recognizing me? And just dead ringer. I've seen that's happened to me many times.
All right, so you have one.
Yeah, I just think he's got that every Jew face.
I had that for the longest time with Jonah Ray. I would see guys
that's so
all
funny.
over the place, and I swore it was Jonah Ray. I'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's Jonah!" Hey. And then it wasn't him. And the only giveaway was that all of the Jonah Ray clones were because Jonah's a tall guy, but you kind of forget because he doesn't look like a tall guy. Was that I'd go, "Oh, there's Jonah." And he's not tall.
Yeah.
And weirdly, Jonah Ray. Look at pictures of him now and 5 years ago. He got younger through COVID somehow.
Yes.
Looks great.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
I'm allowed to-
it's
Lost
crazy.
weight, yeah.
Yeah. He does look a lot. He looks great.
Yeah. Everybody else aged 10,000 years, myself included. But not Jonah.
I do have a good friend that I see everywhere. His name is Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Oh,
my
do you
God.
see him?
He
Oh,
just
man.
keeps
In the
working it in.
faces of everyone.
Security.
out there. I'm being escorted.
Get him out of here.
Doing
I
kicks in the
feel
stomach.
like I see my mom a lot actually, which is weird
yeah?
because it's my mom, but it's like she's blonde and like
Oh.
5'7".
Yes.
So there's something about a blonde 5'7" woman, especially at the airport, looking a little lost was my first thought. Just kind of like looking around and I'm like, oh, and then I have to remember like, oh no, I'm in LA. But I also have that happen a lot where you're like, I think I see someone that I knew in Chicago or
Yes.
New York, and then I'm like, but what city am I in? Oh no, I'm in LA, so it's not that person. Like I have that.
I
But,
feel
yeah.
like it happens especially when I travel, like when I'm a little bit unmoored from my life, and then it's like, oh, that guy that I haven't seen since college. What made me think of
I
him?
feel that way about my dad. I feel like I see guys all the time that look just like my dad, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what the? Where's my dad secretly living here in Burbank?
Tell me.
I
I didn't think we'd run into each other.
can't believe
so
he didn't
funny.
call.
A weird one that I would have, Jonah, Jordan or Allison, maybe you've had this. When I would go to a punk rock show, not in the scene where I lived, like in another city, I would always think I saw somebody from my punk rock scene.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
every punk rock scene, it's like,
Replicates itself.
oh, there's the zine guy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the goth guy. Oh, there's the so-and-so.
Yeah.
And I would always think,
Guy
like,
that always wears the suit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much the guy that always wears the suit is in every scene.
Mhm.
That's so funny. Do you have it just mirror?
I
everyone?
do. I thought I didn't, but mine is something that I've been noticing lately. I think this counts as it just mirror everyone. I've been noticing a lot of companies that call you and then text you right after if you don't answer the phone. Has this been happening to anyone else? I feel like I'm losing my mind because I'm like, what is happening? Today, that happened to me with 3 different businesses. And I was like, this is wild because to me, it's so unprofessional.
Must be
to be
some
like,
new
oh,
app
she
or
didn't answer.
something.
We're going to text.
Right.
Yeah, because then like today, one of the people that did it, I just said, give me a phone number to call. Like, do not text. I'm not going to sit here and text you about whatever it is. But yeah, that's just something I've been noticing lately.
That's so pushy.
It's wild to me. Like, and I've had people like that'll ask me to do like a shoot of theirs or whatever it is. To me, it's like, it doesn't matter what you're calling for unless it's someone's been in an accident and is hurt. I don't understand the need to call. And then when I didn't not answer to be fun. I just didn't answer because usually I'm like not even by my phone.
Right.
So it's just like, that's why I didn't answer. But yeah, I've been getting.
Do they leave you a voicemail though or no?
No. And that's what's crazy.
insane.
They'll text while a voicemail would be normally being left.
Right. Yes.
Like just like how a friend would do. Like, don't worry about calling me. Like, I'll do this to my mom sometimes. Like, don't worry about calling back. Was just calling to say hi.
Yeah.
But like these businesses will be like, we were calling to blah 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 blah, and I'm like, what in the heck? It's not like bill collectors. It's just like today it was 2 doctors' offices that did it. 2.
That's got to be some weird customer management software that's packaged as being sold to people. Or something.
And there's a lot more companies that say like you can text this number too as well as call it. Which sure, if I text you first, that makes sense. But if you call me to do something and I don't answer, leave a message like a grown up, and I'll call you back.
There's a lot of people who won't leave messages anymore.
There are a lot of people that won't. I think it's part of that. Just like people don't want to leave messages.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to check their voicemails or call people, but. Let's just pretend we all do for like a little bit. Because like, I don't want a business texting me. It's so weird to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was calling a place of business and they didn't answer. But before I had clicked end, I got a text back from them saying, sorry, we missed you.
Yeah. Even that.
Like, and then, feel free to ask your question here. That was super weird. That had to have been automated.
Give me some space.
And I think that they also, because maybe it is trying to push off of people because they're understaffed or whatever it is. But or just push off of people having to interact with customers.
Or they don't want to pay for customer support.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. But that to me, I wouldn't want that. I mean, I think some people would, but to me, it's like, I don't want you to text me if if you didn't answer the phone. I'm going to call you again later.
Right. It was just weird because I was still, I guess that's what you're saying. I was still on the phone with them when the text came in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Strange.
It's very odd.
Jeff, do you have one?
I do. When I have a bagged salad and I don't get to it in time and it goes south on me, I get so bummed out.
Yeah.
Like exceptionally bummed out compared to any other food going bad.
The gunky, wilted leaves in the bag. It's so gross. It makes you feel like such a failure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And especially if the bag has not yet been opened.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That happens
It's
to
just
me
to have to
so
throw.
waste.
I'm crestfallen when that happens.
I always, it's been a while, but sometimes I'll like open it up to see if there's any pieces that can be salvaged. But then oftentimes it's like, oh, these taste.
They've been touching the
Yeah.
gunky pieces.
And I feel like, once you saw him touch the gunky piece, you can't forget that you saw that.
And there's something aspirational about buying the bag of salad.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to have a salad. And what a wonderful choice I'm making for me. And then, like,
Just failure.
it's gross. And then you are reminded of the stuff you ate instead of that. You're
Right.
like, oh, yeah.
And-
Del Taco.
A bagged salad as opposed to buying a head of lettuce and making a salad. It's like, it's such easy, convenient food.
Right.
I'm so taking the sucker's cheap, lazy ass way out, and I couldn't even pull that off.
You couldn't even
I couldn't
open
even
it.
throw it in a bowl.
Yeah. It's
That
like,
happens a lot.
All I had to do was
Drizzle
tear
on
the
some
bag
bottled
open,
dressing.
let
Yeah.
gravity do the work,
Yeah.
put something on top of it, and it was a salad, and that was too much work for me.
Sometimes
I find, as someone who ate kind of only salads for many years, now that I'm not like limiting my food to like just salads, I rarely am like, I'm in the mood for a salad. Isn't that a commercial actually? That's the salad. But I feel like the salad urge doesn't strike that often. You guys?
I've recently been struck with the salad urge. I've been wanting to do a week of salads. It's literally like
I found some
my-
that I
my goal
like,
for this
and
week.
definitely the like, the I made a good choice feeling in your brain
Yeah.
is a powerful motivator.
Mhm.
And yeah, I have some salads I look forward to now.
Yeah.
I always want salads. I always want salads or anything easy to make, or a charcuterie type situation.
Oh, yeah.
Crackers, cheese. That's like all I eat. And I've been doing a lot of bag salads lately, but I did let one go bad, and it was another moment.
What kind was it?
It was a Taylor Farm Caesar salad.
Oh,
I
nice.
keep getting them
Yeah.
like over and over again, and just making Caesar salads for lunch. I don't know why. That's just all I've been wanting to do. But yeah, when it goes bad, you're like, come on. That was supposed to be easy. Yeah.
I want a salad.
No.
A taco salad.
No.
Burger. Salad.
He's Robin.
That's Robin Shore.
Salad, salad, salad.
I love it.
Thanks so much, everyone. This was delightful. I learned a little bit about Jesus Christ. Thank you.
No problem. Happy to do it. It's my life's work.
Where might we find you, Jordan?
Hey, I have a chat podcast called Jordan Jesse Go. Allison's been on it. Tons of fun.
Yes.
And hey, I've got a new graphic novel coming out later this year. Speaking of the big man upstairs, JC, this book is called Youth Group. It is a YA horror comedy about teenage exorcists.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Art by the great Bowen McGurty. It's funny. It's spooky. There's a little bit of romance. There's a little bit of friendship. And yeah, I'm really stoked about it. I hope people will pre-order it if it sounds interesting.
When
to
does
you.
it come out?
It comes out July 16th. But you can get that bad boy on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Better yet, call your local indie bookstore if you want to look at the cover and a little bit of the internal art. bit.ly/youthgroupbook. You can check it out there and get all your pre-order links.
Pre-orders are important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Don't know, but they want you to get them for the book. So I'm doing it. I would yes. So
Oh, that sounds so good.
yeah. Thanks. I'm stoked. I'm stoked on it. I hope people will check it out.
Love it. And Niccole, what about you?
You can find me on Instagram at Niccole Thurman. I have 2 C's in Niccole. And then I've been attempting to keep up a Substack, which we'll see if I do. But I think it's Niccole.substack.com. You can find the link on my Instagram as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Daniel?
Yeah, you just follow me at Instagram or whatever, Daniel Quantz.
Okay.
Whatever.
Cool as fuck. D-Quants on the snappy.
Quantz!
Jeff?
No.
You can find me at Popeyes in Burbank on the drive home after this show.
That's a good
That
Popeyes.
does sound good.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and shit, there's something I was going to say, and it had to do with my book.
Maybe buy it? Were you going to tell people about that?
Oh, no, I already did, I think. Did I not?
Probably. Oh, no, probably.
Buy it. But listen, if you're going to buy it, leave
Buy
a
it twice.
review. No, buy it twice, and then leave 2 reviews. Leave some reviews.
If you buy it 5 times, you get to leave an extra review.
Leave all the reviews because, as Daniel said, you can't get someone excited about a book that came out 5 years ago.
Listen, if you're not inclined to buy the book, then you should definitely buy the book. And
it's got
and
new material and
discover new possibilities.
new
for yourself
material,
that you wouldn't have.
new artwork, new cover. I mean, the acknowledgments have been gussied up. The things are different. But here's the thing. The original reviews were on the original Amazon page. And so now when I go to the new page, a tumbleweed blows by. So,
Oh my God, if Amazon had like a little virtual tumbleweed.
Oh my God.
Like if
And
no
it's like,
one's visited
yeah. So please leave some reviews. And everyone, thank you. Oh, and the rest of my stuff, go to AllisonsLinks.com, ALISONSLINKS.com. You can get to all my stuff. Thanks, everyone. This is delightful. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show?